Trans Ganaha, Raguestaguis here, aka KP, aka the Red Goat, coming to you with another TTS episode. Each episode is unique, and it's unique in its own self because each story can touch an individual that a different story couldn't. So our goal is to dive into people's lives, ask questions, and bring out, the truth of what they've experienced through life to get to their struggles and where they're at right now presently. Right now we have a special guest. If you could introduce yourself, please.
Hey, what's going on? This is Jraz, a.k.a. Jay Montega, Niagara Falls, New York in the building, the whole Western New York, Buffalo, Rochester. Shout out to the whole state of New York.
Okay. Welcome. Thank you. So, obviously, you indicate that you're from the Falls, the dirty waters. 716, you already know. Niagara Falls. So, what part of the Falls were you from?
Niagara Falls, East Side, 5th Street.
Downtown, huh?
Yeah.
What was it like as a youth growing up in there at Wild Wild West?
I could tell you, listen, like, it felt like a movie, like, because, like, I would watch movies, I'm like, damn, this is, like, kind of like how I grew up. This is, like, kind of like my environment. It reminded me of, like, New Jack City growing up, because that's when the crack epidemic kind of, like, swept the streets.
Okay.
And it had, like, a negative impact on our environment. And we seen a lot of individuals that were successful, and then also their lifestyle just came to a plummet. It was just kind of like surreal. You get what I'm saying? In that aspect, just visualizing this, watching this transpire in front of you.
So being a youth, seeing that, see the glamorization and the success of the, the sales and all that, and having a family homestead. How did that impact you as a child? Like, did your parents and everything condone to that, or did they try to educate you to stay away from that, or how was that growing up in that time and experiencing that?
You know what? I'm glad that you elaborated on that because I could vociferate this, right? Growing up, and I lived in the worst environment as far as my neighborhood, but also I had a mother that worked, and her side of the family, they worked, and I got another side of the family, they worked, but also they was involved in street life too. Like the neighborhood I grew up in was it was a crack environment. All hustlers, prostitutes, dope boys, killers. So when you mix all of that at one, you adapt to one lifestyle, then you have a characteristic of family members that impact you in a positive way and a negative way. So all of these things that are indoctrinated within inside yourself, they transpire to other things. So that it was a struggle growing up in those type of environments. It wasn't always a convivial environment. Seeing people shot, killed, dope. It was just not a normal environment for a child to grow up in.
It's on a negative note. Niagara Falls has been underrated for all the crimes committed, and not saying that pinpoint to put somebody on the map, but there used to be, it still is, a hostile environment that a lot of things don't give, spotlight it.
I can add to that because you know why? I could say this as a fact that Niagara Falls is a tourist city. It's one of the wonders of the world. So a lot of the crimes and a lot of things that happen in Niagara Falls in our city is not reported. That they don't want to scare tourists away from visiting our city and stop the residual income that comes into the city, which most of the time that money is not even put back in our community. I just hit a pothole on the way here. I thought I'm damn near chipped my damn tooth in the pothole. Seriously,
as far as dirty waters, they stay stagnant in those potholes too, just so you know.
Shit, the steering wheel in the Benz is turned sideways. I'm gonna have to go visit my, the dealer. They're going to charge me arm and a leg.
So let's take a dive into school. What was it like? Would you consider yourself growing up as a leader or a follower as a kid?
I was always the leader. You know why? Because I've never felt like I fit in in a lot of things because I had a lot of different views in life and a lot of different morals. Because I'm the youngest out of all my older cousins. All my cousins is like 5-10 years older than me. So I never really related to too many people my age. So, I always felt like I didn't fit in because my views were different. A lot of the dudes were followers that I grew up with, or they just was going down a different path, or we didn't see the same ideology, or they were living vicariously through other individuals that they idolized. I didn't really have too many people that I idolize or look up to. I just kind of did my own thing.
Were you sports inclined?
Absolutely, I played sports. That's what actually made me a team player. And when you are a team player, you have brothers that you win, lose with, you practice every day with, you sweat, you go through vicissitudes, ups and downs. That teaches you a lot of discipline, and also it teaches you to value other people's time and also people as an individual. You get to see people's characteristics as a person when they play, but they become a team player. You get to notice a lot of things about people, and you analyze things. And, playing sports was a very, very productive, not counterproductive, but productive part of my life, which I wish I was still playing sports sometimes, when I watch the games.
Absolutely. Sports is a lot of our youth's way that we used to excel or release all those negative feelings and that we didn't even know what they were at the time.
You're right.
The frustration, the confusion, the jealousy. A lot of us played sports to where that entertained our brain and put us in the positive manner of life.
Right. It was an outlet, just like how music is an outlet and still is. It kept me out of a lot of trouble. A lot of my friends passed away. A lot of them died from overdoses or got shot, killed, or whatever the case is. That sports aspect helped me well grounded, and then I got to meet a lot of different people throughout different cities, states, just from the sports. So that kept me well grounded, and I thought a different way than a lot of different people that didn't play sports.
So did you excel in academics the way you did in sports?
Absolutely. I graduated with an 88 average, B plus.
Okay.
And that's not common coming from where I grew up at. It's not, most people didn't graduate where I grew up at. And I was one of the few. I liked school, actually.
If you were to reflect upon that time, what would you say kept you there to like it? What?
You know what? I realized that the people that were successful, longevity, they had careers. People that were successful short term, they was in the street. So I had the best of both worlds. And also, I had to find a silver lining in between the two to make me want to go to school and still, achieve getting good grades and still having good attendance, having good punctuality. So I would get fly. I would, oh, it's a girl I like. Okay, all right. I look forward to talking to her. I like this teacher. She bad. I would find different things to motivate me to go to school.
Okay.
Many different. It's a multifarious amount of things that I looked at that motivated me to keep going and keep driving.
So I remember you saying that you didn't really have nobody to look up to, but you seen that successful people were, they did academics and everything. How did you not have an idolization to look up to, but learn all these traits?
Well, I did have people to look up to, but I didn't like as far as looking up to them, I had positive influence. So I had the positive influence, of what to do, what a successful person looks like and what they have achieved and what they've been through in order to be successful. So I had the best of both worlds. So I had the formula, but I didn't, my thing was I had a different state of mind. I had my own way of becoming successful, and I looked up to that point to where I can be the best I can be, and kind of like I can incorporate all of their successes into my own and just run with that.
How do you measure success?
Success is someone that loves doing what they do, and they're not struggling. They love what they're doing. They can take care of their family. They impact others in a positive way. That's mainly
so just because they're successful, they don't struggle?
No, you can't be successful unless you struggle. You have to go through many vicissitudes. You don't even know what the formula is until you struggle. You have, so many. I respect a lot of people that failed a lot of times and they kept going. They kept going.
The ones that
grinding.
got knocked down and just kept getting up and going.
Right. You know what? Because you gotta let go of your ego, because ego tells people that it's okay to, think that you can't do no wrong, or that money is more important than the characteristics of a person and the grind. And then ego is edging God out. You gotta let go of ego. That's one of the main problems that we struggle with in today's society with most millennials.
So let's talk about more so high school, because that's where we're kind of stuck at, with the academics and everything. Mm-hmm. What would you say was your most favorite subject, and why was it your favorite?
History.
Really?
I love history.
All those lies they told in those textbooks?
I know. I already knew the lies because my grandfather.
I mean, come on, let's be real, bro. Let's be real.
Listen.
All them lies, I can pinpoint a couple of them.
we can have a whole segment on that. My grandfather, we would read books. We would have hour-long conversations. He would be so surprised that I knew certain things. I knew certain things that I didn't even, I don't even know how I knew. But, I got in trouble one time. I'll tell you a story. In first grade, my teachers was like, Christopher Columbus discovered America.
I'm sorry. I was expecting that, but
so they had this little thing in the corner, right, called the Red Sea. So I was like, I rose my hand, Miss So-and-so, how could he discover something when people's already on it? She said, you sit in the hot chair right now.
Listen, man.
Yo.
What they taught in textbooks is not the truth, bro.
I know that for a fact. That's why I was getting in trouble.
Listen, they don't talk about the agreements that they made with the Native Americans and the way that they manipulate their mindset with alcohol and drugs to sign away their lives. And, there's a lot of things that is not disclosed in those textbooks that is very horrendous.
It is.
I mean,
it's very egregious because you're spreading lies. That's why it's his story.
Exactly.
Not the facts.
No, absolutely.
Look at the facts.
If that's the case, they teach you about the history of money, but they don't want to teach you about money.
Yeah, because you already know the reason behind that. That's another topic right there. I won't get into it, but what you're saying is many truisms behind the what you're saying.
Basically, it's just like when you get your kids to believe that there's Christmas and the Easter Bunny and all this other shit. Excuse me. No, but you're telling these fairy tale lies and you're continuously telling them, and they're saying it's okay.
And there's a lot of fairy tale lies that other people that's prominent figures to try to tell you. I ain't gonna get in that topic, but they try to tell you certain things you like. They try to fault you for being intelligent, or someone that's perspicacious, that's intelligent, where you can read between the lies and the truth. You're kind of like ridiculed and like criticized for that. It makes people not want to speak out. But as far as high school, back to what we were saying with the high school, I don't want to get too off topic. The high school, I love school because I like to be well-grounded. Because growing up in my neighborhood it was nothing but negativity. So that was a place where I can actually be around different positive people, many different people. I'm a people's person. Sometimes I'm an introvert, but I like to be around people too. I like to learn from people. When you stop learning from people, you stop growing as a person. So I like to learn from everyone,
Absolutely. As much as I don't want to be around nobody, you have to be around them. I mean, for real, because if I isolate myself, like you said, you don't learn.
Right.
The creator he created mankind to carry the duties of taking care of the earth, whether he sent the African brothers over to Africa, the Chinese people over to China. The red people over here. It's we all had our place and our purpose.
Right. Indigenous people, right.
So it's just like, none of this is recognized.
Right. It's not because it's not recognized because the wrong message is being put out there. Even though I make songs, all my songs are not positive, but also I talk about my life experiences. Life is not always a fairy tale.
No, it's not.
And I strive on being real. Some things I got to omit. I can't talk about, but also I talk about as much as I can to where it's not incriminating, and it's not putting other things, shedding light on certain things that don't need to be shed on. But you know what? Some things need to be talked about, and sometimes people are somnambulating, they're sleepwalking. They don't really know. So if we don't educate people and we don't like speak on certain things, we're doing a disservice to our people. And I say our people, I mean all mankind, everyone.
I mean, because everybody got their phones and their ears open.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean, what you put out there, people see and hear. And like I said, this youth is so misconstrued because the simple fact they're brought into this world by kids themselves.
Exactly.
And those kids don't even know all the proper principles and morals of life. Right. So they're not teaching these kids that. It's a fucked up world that we live in, really.
It is. And you know what? I realize that, and it's our duty. It's obligatory for us. Like, you know how we realize that? So it's an obligation, I feel, once I'm in a platform to be able to reach the youth and talk to you. Like, this is the story. It's not to be canonized, not to be glorified. This is what I've been through so that you can learn from this and then twist it to your or whatever you learn from me, whatever you take from me, or any person that's in the spotlight. You can definitely turn your life around or use what applies to you or use it in your own way. But just don't look at it as like I'm glorifying something. I mean, like something negative should not be glorified. You know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to have a positive impact on you. You know, that's the problem with today's society. Even though I might talk about certain things, that's not to encourage you. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, we could get on topic of discipline and all this. As a matter of fact, let's talk about discipline. What does discipline mean to you?
Discipline is having the fortitude to strive and be tenacious, to stick to your values and what you want to achieve in life.
With that being said, what would you consider your 5 years or even your 10-year plans?
My 5-year plans is to stay alive, to still have the same mentality I have today, to still have the health that I have today, still have clean water, clean air, like, no wars going on in our society. So, just to stay alive so that I can achieve greatness. Because if you don't have health, you're not going to achieve anything.
What is greatness?
Greatness is whatever you want it to be.
So how come you don't have greatness now?
Who said I didn't? You
said you want to achieve greatness. I don't know. I was just asking.
Mm-hmm. I want to achieve I want to surmount a better greatness because I want to stay thriving. I'm insatiable. You know what I mean? I'm never satisfied. I want to keep doing better and better. I want to achieve. You know what I want to achieve? It's going to be impossible, but I'm still going to strive for the impossible. Like, call me James Bond, whatever. I want to strive for perfection. I'm going to keep striving for it.
There's nothing in life that's perfect.
Exactly.
So,
but I could keep striving for it and keep going that's going to motivate me.
You don't think that would confuse you because you want to, making sure that the wheel spins the right way?
No, I think that's going to spin the right way when you have the right mindset. When you don't let success or you don't let certain things get in the way of that. When you keep striving for greatness and you keep looking for ways to improve, how could that confuse you when you want to keep improving in life?
So basically, there's no bump big enough to break that tire, and there's no hill tall enough for that wheel to climb, right?
No, not unless we die.
Okay. So, to my understanding, you kind of had a little struggle part of your life. What would you consider your biggest hurdle in your life that you had to overcome or overcome in?
My biggest hurdle was going to prison. Leaving my son, my mother, my friends. I don't even have friends. I have family. All you guys are family. So leaving people that you care about, that you can't, if they go through a hardship in life. I can't go to a friend's funeral or family's funeral that passed away. I can't be a good son. I can't be a good father. I can't be a good nephew. You get what I'm saying? And we sometimes are selfish in life. And I had to become altruistic, unselfish, to realize that I had to spend time to myself. And I told myself, I'm going to come out better than I came in. And I strived on that. I had to work on that. And then when you have time to yourself, you have to work on all the things you struggle with. in order to achieve that, and so many people passed. I was incarcerated during COVID. People were passing away. We didn't even know if we were gonna survive. So it was just an eye opener. I changed a lot of things in my life. Started working out. I was borderline diabetic. Started working out, eating differently, following Dr. Sebi. Drinking a lot of alkaline water, eating healthy food. So I had to change a lot of things, and that was the biggest obstacle I had to overcome. Realizing people I loved in my life, I couldn't be there for, because I'm very big on, I'm a very family-oriented person. I'm a Cancer, July 5th. I'm a Cancer, so that's my sign.
So what was it like? Elaborate a little bit on watching your son, who's a very successful upcoming lacrosse player, go through the struggles that he had to go through being, a mixed race, because you being African and his mother being Native, he has the rights as a Native because his mother is Native.
Right.
So how was it? How did that impact your life of what you were going through, seeing him go through success without being the father figure there for him, like in a physical aspect?
As far as being in prison?
Yes.
Well, it didn't really impact. I wasn't going that long, but it did impact me. Ever since he was born, I was the first person he saw colors. I cut his umbilical cord. The first person he saw when he came out. I got nothing but, my phone is nothing but pictures from the day he was born and all the way until now. That was the biggest impact, the biggest hurdle I had to overcome, is not being there for him. He's so used to me being at the games, being there, that he could just call me anytime, no matter what time of the day is, I'll pull up. So, that was the main thing that affected me. Him not being able to reach out to me for me to pull up, show up, do whatever it is that I need to do. He's so used to it's so close to me, and having that taken away from a kid is just detrimental. It's devastating.
I mean, especially the success that he has in lacrosse.
Right. And then me being there the whole time, I got him into sports when he was 4. And went to every practice. I didn't even wrestle. I learned the technique, taught him. He won the whole state for New York for our section 6. And then he quit the next year. But I'm happy that he found something he loved, which is out here with the lacrosse. I'm always going to support my son in anything that he does. He's a great kid, and then we've always had a lot of talks, told him a lot of things in life, to where it didn't really affect too much of our relationship, because we spent so much time together. And he knows what type of person I am. And he knows I love him to death.
Like I said, stay tuned, boy. His lacrosse career is just getting started.
And you know what? It's such a icebreaker, because sometimes we are indoctrinated and brainwashed by other entities for us not to like each other. But when we get around each other, it's like all the lies we were taught not to like each other. There's like, what is this? Like, this person is cool. This person is cool. I'm from this area, from this place. It's like, it's no reason for that. And he's like that silver lining in that, because he's the best of both worlds. And people are taught not to believe certain things. They're taught to believe certain things. And then when certain things transpire, it changes people's outlooks in life. So like, he's like a gift to everyone.
I mean, especially being traumatized, it's hard to change people's views of things after what they've experienced, not just in that situation, but in life in general.
Exactly. It just takes a special person, a special situation to happen to bring people together. And as you know, brought a lot of people together. Just him alone. Everyone loves him.
Absolutely, he's a phenomenal young man.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, I know you elaborate a little bit on going away and going to prison. What did you actually get locked up for?
Man, listen, I got locked up for conspiracy to illegally transfer firearms. I still don't even know how I got charged with this shit, but it was all right. When they started trying to charge other people, I was like, you know what? The feds are dirty, so you know what? They operate on a different wavelength of thing, and I'm just gonna accept responsibility for it, because no one else is responsible for this but me, and that's the part of taking accountability in life. You know what I'm saying? You take accountability. If you're in the wrong, I'm not too good enough to say I'm in the wrong. So if I'm in the wrong, I'm not too good to say I'm sorry or I apologize, things of that nature. So I got locked up for that. That was my first time getting a felony, Class D felony, which was charged as a white collar charge, you know, because guns came from a federal store or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, that didn't like actually it had a negative impact, but it also had a twist to it too. I met a lot of good people in life. I got a chance to work on things and improve my life and change my life and turn it around, just like the trials and tribulations that we talking about.
So you would consider a refocus of life.
Exactly. I got a chance to reform things, revamp things. I had a lot of time to think about what I needed to do because sometimes our judgment is shrouded out here. And if we have the wrong people around us, sometimes,
especially being impacted by the surroundings.
Exactly. So you know what? I had that time. Sometimes we need that time to ourselves.
I totally agree with you. Like I said, I've experienced setbacks in my life that I thought was going to be the end of my life.
I know. I'm actually very proud of you. Very proud of you. I know this segment is on me, but you know what? It's not about all me. It's about trials and tribulations. People need to know, I'm very proud of you. You changed your life around and you're doing excellent. I'm very proud of you. You gave me motivation.
I appreciate that, bro. And that's my whole purpose in life. I wanna spark that, be that candlelight that is talked about forever. That just encourages people to strive to take those fears on and conquer the biggest fear in life. You know what I mean? That's the unknown.
Right.
So that I want to be that inspiration that shows that life ain't perfect. I don't care how successful you are. Life is not perfect, but as long as you keep getting knocked down and getting back up, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be destined for greatness.
Right.
And this journey people fail to realize is a unique journey. Not every journey is mapped out the same way. I'm here to learn from you, or vice versa, or 80, or anybody that we encounter along our travels.
Right.
We're set here for a purpose to learn and teach from each other. And it's a unique thing that I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't know my story, and it's each episode, some of it gets disclosed, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing that we can sit in the same room and talk about this rather than sit there and glamorizing about what we used to do and what we thought we were.
That's the maturity of life, and you know what? It's very vivifying. You know what? And it's when we go through in life, we actually realize what we go through, and we value our peace and our serenity and our equanimity, and not having to look over the police or look at the blinds and be like, because we know it was something's going on, we did something. It could be something minor, but you know what? It's a good feeling when you're in a good state of mind frame, and you're striving for greatness. Like we were talking about earlier today, I was putting music on the back burner. I was just putting the streets first, and I thought I was putting my family first. I wasn't putting my family first. I was putting my family first. I mean, myself first. I'm thinking that me making money and providing for my family and taking them on trips and doing these exotic things was something that was for them, and it wasn't for them, it was for me. Even though they enjoy certain things, but also that was a selfish move. The only thing they really wanted was me to be there. Mm. And me not being there had a more of a negative impact than it did than the things that I thought would create a positive impact. Because money doesn't make you as a person, what it does. Money sometimes tell people that rules don't apply, or it turns some people into people that they're already are, or someone that can use disassociative methods. But back to what we were saying back to with the high school and everything, and then like me going through the prison process and my son growing up out here. Everything has been a learning experience that I'm willing to tackle and achieve and overcome everything.
I mean, that's our purpose in life. Because once you give up, it's like quicksand.
Oh yeah,
You know, it starts getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Next, you know, you suffocated. You know.
we're warriors.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. You know. Absolutely. Each individual is their own warrior in their own way.
That's right.
You know. And I like to tell people that we're all leaders, but we're also all followers because everything that we've done in our life has already been done previously,
Right.
just in a different way.
Exactly.
You
Nothing
know,
new under the sun.
you know, I thought maybe this turn would would be the tightness of the screw, realizing I over tightened it. You know, some people know how to just tighten it just right. You know, it's life is unique,
Right.
so it's a beautiful thing.
Somebody might know how to tighten it this right, or you might know how to do this that they don't know how to do. So it's like we're every piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely.
You know, we need each other.
I'm still putting that goddamn last piece in the puzzle. I'll tell you that.
Right. We're gonna put that in together.
With everybody, not
Right.
just myself.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right.
Ship's already sold. Nah, but one thing I learned about money is they never taught you in school how to accommodate assets, how to utilize the proper procedures of the finances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, money is evil. I don't care what you say. It's a proven fact. They can print as much money as they want and not have the equivalent backing to it.
It can be evil if you let it.
I mean, it's evil no matter which way you look at it.
We all got our different, perspectives, but
it's there for a purpose, though.
right. It can be. I would say this. It could be negative. It could be evil, and it could be positive. It just depends on the person who has the money.
I mean, how you take a $20 bill and flip it in half, and you got the Twin Towers on one side, you got the Pentagon burning on the other.
How you got $1 bill with the pyramid on it with the unseen eye. I'm not gonna get into that because I don't need.
I mean, hey, bro,
listen,
we've already talked about that in past episodes.
Listen, I don't want the Men in Black pulling up in front of my house. So I can defend myself, but you know what I'm saying? I don't need a rendition team pulling up.
Nah, they only want certain blood. It's like mosquitoes. When you eat a banana, they want the ones that already ate the banana.
Yeah, or the people that are influential, that has the knowledge, that's not asleep.
Absolutely.
They can't influence. They got independent thought process, just like that movie They Live. When they say, when you look at the dollar bill, this is your God. They say vacation, it means reproduce. You know what I'm saying? We're not asleep. You know what I'm saying? Our pineal gland is open. That's why you think we all, you know what I'm saying, share the same similar, thought process and ideology, But, you know what I'm saying? I just want in life just to make a difference and just to try to improve everyone. I'm not even trying to knock people down. Because none of us is perfect. So, once you acknowledge everyone is not perfect and you don't fault people for being them, and then I just want to create more positive than negative, and then
Still understand you got to be selfish though.
You have to a certain extent, you know what I mean? But sometimes you got to be you got to be patient too.
You got to play that yin and yang perfect, bro.
Right. It's a struggle. It's a vicissitude, but you know what? I'm in for the longevity, incessantly. It's a quotidian thing every day. You gotta follow it.
I'm not gonna lie, you use some very articulate words. I ain't gonna lie. I have to go back and look up at what the heck did he I'm sitting there scratching my head like yo. Now do you articulate those words in your music too?
Not all the time.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, because you got my I understand some of them, bro. I'm not too simple, but some of them things, what? I gotta get a dictionary. Make a note, 80. We gotta get a dictionary up on here so I can understand.
I gave this nigga a suggestion and he ran with it.
Oh, yo, he's. No, you're very intelligent. I could say, you know what I mean. I could see you studied the dictionary and accommodate a lot of your time to further and bettering yourself.
You're right. I like to be able to communicate with people on many different levels. Communication is key. Sometimes people will understand you when you speak their language more than you say it in a different way.
Absolutely.
And I learned that being in prison. I got along with the Spanish, the Italians, the Africans, the Islanders, the Black American, everyone, even like the whites. I got along with everyone, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't just subjected to one area of life, and I wasn't just, how can I put it, brainwashed to believe certain things. I was
That you only have to be over here.
right, and
That's the way I feel in life. You know, it's this life. We're meant to travel and interact with people and share our experiences.
right. They want to put you in a box. They don't want you to know that it's a whole world beyond here, even in other countries. I was blessed to go out countries, you know. So when you're around certain people, like they want you to fear being around other people that don't look like you.
What's your definition of fear?
Fear is conducive to bad decision making. It is, and fear is something that a lot of people don't recognize. They don't understand. Fear is when a lot of people they don't understand the consequence. They don't know what's going on behind it.
So with your music and everything, how would you say that you want to impact your community in a positive way? What would you do to assert your positiveness to uplift the community?
The only way I can do that is right. Is telling my story. When I tell my story in the music, some people might not take it the right way. So it's my duty to like go to schools, to go to events and explain certain things that people might be confused on or get misconstrued. You know, or in like the actual when I do videos, show certain things that grasp your attention and like that will impact you in a profound way to where you fully grasp where I'm coming from so you don't get it confused. And I'll have to be open for other options too. You know, I can't just consider my options because I don't know everything.
How would you suggest to the younger you to keep going and keep striding and reaching your goals one by one? How would you best educate and elaborate on that?
I'm so happy you said that. I wish I can dap you up right now. That's
Oh, you
that's
can.
yeah, thank you. I'm glad you asked that. Listen, the younger me was the person that I am today, but I love money. I still do love money, but not as much. You know what I'm saying? Like money, I just love making money. I would do
So the
overtime.
values were different at a younger age.
It was different when it came to. I thought being successful was making a lot of money. I don't think that now. When I was young, being successful was having an inordinate amount of money. You know, that was my definition of being successful, was having money. And I realized people that had a lot of money didn't have the same stress that I had and have the same problems. But also they do have problems. That don't mean they don't have problems. They're just like everyone else. But when you are young minded and you don't know certain things, that is something that you can actually get confused of and be led down the wrong path. You know, you have to grow as an individual to learn it. That takes a lot of maturity and things that you go through in life. So that's I'm glad that you said that because, you know, when you're young, man, you want the money, you want the cars, shoes, clothes, stuff like that, and that shit ain't even really, excuse my language, those things is not even really as important, you know.
Don't get lost in that, you know, people. That's what I got from that message right there. Don't get lost in the finances of the money. Start investing, start making assets, start making something that is more tangible than that dollar bill that's continuously printed anyways. You know, that's one thing. And that's what makes these stories unique, is that each person uniquely finds their grounding point through their confusion of the chaotic life that they experienced to their present point of their success that they are now. They view things at a different, you know, visual.
Right. You're right.
And what I've seen from these interviews, it's a humbling experience. It's not the crazy life that they want to continuously live. It's more like, how can I ground myself with all these, you know, these benefits?
You know what? You said the key word is humble. That is such a character. That's such a good characteristic to have, being humble. You know, like you don't just acquire that or procure that overnight.
That's something you got to work.
Yeah, that's something that you have to work hard for. I'm actually like, I'm thinking about that now. That's why I'm getting antsy right now. Like my body language is this from you saying that word, you know, being humble. And that's a lot of people have to do that in life. Sometimes our pride takes advantage of that. It robs us of being successful and having achieved being a humble person. It robs us of that. It's in the same category as having an ego.
You always have to prioritize your your list of life to get to where you're going, and don't ever be scared to check off your successes. That's where you're visually seeing that you're doing something. Dang, I did that. Dang, I did that. Whether it's jumping out of an airplane, whether it's climbing the biggest mountain, whether it's saving up $100.
Right.
You have that ability to show your accomplishments.
And you know what? I struggle with that. Believe it or not, I do struggle with that. I'm my worst critic.
Can I suggest something to you?
Yes.
It's called a memory board, and when I suggest this to people, I'm not no median or whatever. It's a positive way to help change your life. And you put, whether it's an easel board, a black erase one, or a chalkboard, you put it right outside your door. You put it in your mirror. You put it wherever you see. A lot of times, whether it's your bedroom, you're walking out, and you want it right next to your door, but you always put, just for today, I will. And then you put all these things that you were going to do. Just for today, I'm going to work towards $1 million. But you got to be realistic. How are you going to get that $1 million?
Realistic goals, right?
No,
that's a good term, because when I was in the feds, I did RDAP, and that was one of the terms, realistic.
What I'm saying, this is a key point to my success, to where I visualize, and my thoughts is not boggled with the outside world. I know, okay, every morning, every time I walk by it, I see it. Yeah. So I remember all that, and as I check all those off, just for today, I'm going to smile extra. Just for today, I'm going to be happy.
And go back to what you were saying, right? You probably not look at yourself in that light, but actually you are someone that has a lot of greatness that people need to hear your story. I can't wait till we do yours, because people.
We did mine, but it's. I mean, honestly, and I'm not being arrogant, I didn't even reach success yet, man. I got so much I still have to do. This is something in the beginning that it's gonna be a documentary that
it's like therapy. It's cathartic. It's like releasing, like hearing your story. And like for instance, how you were saying, I'm not this or that, the third, but actually, what you were saying is has a lot of meat and potatoes. It has a lot to do with being successful. So you're on your path to being successful. You might not think it might not help people, but actually it does. A lot of the times we don't look at ourselves in that light. A lot of things that we share with people, we might think it's just, minutia, and it might grasp the attention or rivet the attention to someone that we never thought it would inspire.
No, absolutely. I mean, I had a lot of people have reached out to me that me helping them has really helped me. Like,
yeah, it's
like they may have talked about a mental health issue that I helped them with, just through my positive affirmations. But really, it's just like, dang, I really did say that. So it makes me go back and, it's some things people speak upon through a third party that they don't even know that they're speaking upon. That's what makes each life unique. We all have a purpose to do, whether it's connecting the dots, whether it's uniting people, whether it's uplifting people, whether it's, helping people. No matter what, we all have a unique duty to do, and it's our diligence to do it.
Right. And I noticed about, you have a gift, you like to help people. You know what I'm saying? And I like that, we all have our gifts, and once we learn what that is, then we can actually capitalize on it and reach what it is we need to reach to our full potential. That's what I want to do with the music. Sometimes I might talk about things I don't even want to talk about. I want to share with people, but also I'm not being real if I don't. I'm cheating my audience. I'm not being a person that is very similar. Like it's just not real. I have to relate with the people, because when you just show a person just one side, that's not being real. I'm going to show you the positive, the bad, everything, and when we do that, people are susceptible to that, and they open up to that, and then you reach more people, and then you can bring people to where you want them to be at through your journey, and they can help you too. It's not just, it's a mutual thing.
Those walls don't get lowered until you find yourself.
Exactly.
Until you find yourself, those walls are going to continuously be up, and you won't allow yourself to grow in the manner that you're supposed to.
Some people help you find yourself too. Like we all need each other. It's a part of that puzzle we were talking about.
We all cross paths for a certain reason, and we're not here to question it or nothing. Just continue with it.
Right. And you know what? I try not to criticize people or judge people. I just listen. Sometimes I don't even need to make a comment on something because all they need is someone to listen to. Someone that needs, they might need you to listen to them. That's it. Sometimes they don't even need a response. They just need to vent.
Absolutely. They find comfort in, not everybody, Might not even find comfort in a counselor that they can speak about.
And when I go back to the music, it's like I'm so versatile. Like we all been through the same stuff in life. So for us not to all listen to the same music, I can make a song with anyone. Country, rap, reggaeton, everything. Because I've been around so many people, I didn't block people out. So, I can relate to a lot of people. We all can relate to the same thing, All of us been through certain things. All of us have been upset, pissed off, heartbroken, without money, with money. Whatever the case is, we all been through stuff in life.
Yeah.
So I can talk about that. I'm not, I don't want to be in one lane. I want to reach everyone. I don't want to just be in one little small, tiny lane,
I mean, like I said, we all accommodate different traits along our journey. And I mean, if you guys notice Original Roots, that's the whole creation of this. It's the good and bad of life. It's whether you entertain this side more or entertain this side more. It's all a part of life.
I want to say this too. Hold on. I'm still waiting. Listen, y'all. I'm still waiting on my black and white sweatsuit with the patch in the front. I still haven't received it yet. So
you gotta stay out of it. You gotta stay out of the gym, man. You're kind of too bulky. No, we got them. You know what I mean? But
they fire too. Y'all gotta go check it out. Joyce is fire. The sweatsuits is nice, but it has a deep meaning to it. That's what I love about it.
Absolutely, it definitely has a deep story to it, as all of our lives do. So it's starting to get to that point of this episode where we're gonna start wrapping things up, and we'd like to ask a very deep question. What's one positive affirmation you could share with the viewers right now that you could feel like you could help change somebody's view on life, their personal view on themselves, anything that you can share in the best set words, since you're very articulate with them words, to touch somebody and uplift them?
I'm gonna have to make that simple because, listen, a lot of times people celebrate your failures in life, and they're real quiet about your success. So, with that being said, as long as you're doing the right thing and you know you're doing the right thing and you're doing everything that you could possibly do in life, that's a celebration, and keep going. Don't ever let anyone steer you off the wrong path or talk you down or make you feel less as a person when you're doing the right thing and you're doing everything you could possibly do. I don't care if you're flat, broke, rich, whatever the case is, that stuff doesn't matter. As long as you're putting 1,000% anything that you want to do in life, keep pursuing it, and keep negative people out of your circle. Keep people in your circle that's going to be honest with you and real, but also they're going to tell you the good and the bad, not just the negative. And that's my advice to people from my heart. That ass serious. I look the camera in the face and tell you that's from my heart.
Yes, yo, you heard him. Wake up with the intent to grow every day, whether it's a penny or knowledge. Get it how you live.
You're right.
Where can these people find you on? What platforms? And you know what I mean? How do they reach you? And is there anything upcoming that these people need to pay attention to or be on the lookout for? I mean, you mentioned something about music and stuff. And
Listen. Warrior Records.
Okay.
If y'all don't know, it's up and coming. It's going to be the best record label to ever bless this country. Not just this state or this city. Listen, we're about to expand. We're about to do some incredible things, and I'm so happy and proud to be a part of the process, a part of the movement at that. So you can find me on IG, JRAZ85. at on IG. And listen, and then our the best producer I ever came across, DJ M80. The best producer. Listen,
That's gonna get edited.
Listen, it's
not
not
the boom,
going to
boom,
be
boom
edited. Best
No, the boom,
producer.
boom,
He
boom.
does. Listen, I'm just so happy to be in the project. Beats, production, everything. The dude even builds MacBooks. Like what? Like what do you get this for? Like it's an evil genius. But listen, listen. You can find me on SoundCloud, JRAZ716. That's the platform.
Tap in, everybody.
It is tap in. And just tune in.
With that being said, we appreciate everybody tapping in, tuning in, and listening to this another special upload that Trials and Tribulations has brought forth to you guys. With that, we say, Nyawa.
Yeah, Montega, J. Rays, signing out. Hey, yo,
Boy got kind
for
of
those of y'all that's watching right now, I don't talk that loud, so I got to raise my hand around these two fuckers.
Bro, you ain't got a 4 head, you got a 5 head.
You got a 7 clan head.
Yo, why does it look like your nose you've been dropped on your face a couple times?
Because it was.
You look.
Hey, you look like a green caterpillar right now. With a hat on.
Yeah, but wait till I transform into that beautiful butterfly. Ooh.
What, you gonna take your ponytail out for that to happen?
No, I'm gonna give myself a beautiful haircut at that time. Yeah, this Kermit the Frog in the face.
Yo, your big ass head. You got a sunroof on your forehead.